Are you ready? Are you ready for the thrill of victory? Are you ready to taste victory? Are you ready to take your sports betting to a whole new level? Sit up, put your feet on the floor, because we have work to do. Welcome to the grind. Welcome to Cappers Nation, your weekly all things sports betting show. Tune in live every Thursday at 8 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Let us make you a more successful sports bettor.
Good morning, afternoon, everybody. Cappers Nation Live, Tuesday game day edition. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have everybody that's tuning in so far. I see we got a nice little crowd building. Matt, Mr. Blevins, Robert, Brian, what's going on? It's Dream Swap. Good morning. Yeah, absolutely. The UFC at 350 is a killer deal. Frankie Diamond, good morning. Christopher Bayer, good morning. Tar Heel Tim, Michael, Neverez KC, Jamar, what's going on, sir? The other Michael. What is going on, folks? Glad to have everybody here. We somewhat got a voice back today. It's still a little raspy. We're still dealing with it, but we're managing, to say the least. Hopefully you guys all had a good Monday. I know I had a somewhat of a good Monday, other than Monday Night Football. Just getting rolling, guys, so bear with me. We're getting everything out. Gonna have a great day today. Chido, what's going on, sir? Welcome. A little over 36 hours on antibiotics, so it's safe to say we're feeling a tad bit better. By tomorrow, we should be perfect. Hopefully, we got a voice back tomorrow, but we should be good. William tuning in via text message. Thank you, sir. Good morning to you as well. Good morning, Jeff, tuning in up in Canada. I know you're watching. Monday, Ty, what's going on? Monday Night Football sucked for us yesterday. That's a fact. That is a fact. Let me take this off here. Keeps getting caught. Give me 1 second, folks. Alrighty, we are back. Getting ready. Tuesday. Gotta get adjusted. Gotta crack that back. Loose and limber for our breakdowns. Hopefully we put some money in everybody's pocket today, because I know we failed to do that yesterday. Yesterday was a big letdown. Yesterday was a bummer. Let's jump right into that recap real quick. That way we can get that out of the way. Although Premium Plays had a winning day yesterday. Not a big winning day. They picked up a game yesterday. 2-1 on Premium Plays. Let's start with our free play disasters yesterday. Charlotte Hornets plus the 4 against Phoenix, losing by 5. Line ended up closing up at 4.5. That one was a tough one. Right there. That was a tough break for our daily free play to drop that one, unfortunately. Premium Play gave out the Vikings plus the 3 yesterday. And missed extra point. Would have kept it closer. And then lo and behold, it didn't matter at the end of the game anyways. But back and forth, some crazy turnovers. Tipped balls, getting caught. Some fluke interceptions. I wouldn't say they choked late. Just some bad breaks on that one fumble that led to the score by Seattle. Seattle took advantage of turnovers, and that's what we talked about yesterday. Their slight advantage on being the plus on turnovers. That weighed heavily in their favor yesterday, like it's done all season long, so hats off to them. Not only did they create turnovers, they made a very gutsy call. And it doesn't matter about, I wouldn't say they choked late. They got beat. They got out-coached by Pete Carroll and the special teams coach for Seattle late. That 4th and 2 absolutely killed the momentum. That 4th and 2 and fake punt and go for it way down in Seattle's own zone. That was a very gutsy call by Coach Pete Carroll and their special teams coordinator. And, hey, it worked. It worked. They definitely got the job done there. So they should have seen that one coming, and unfortunately they didn't. They were blindsided by that one. And that's one of old Petey Boy's specialties is to catch you off guard. And he does that more times than not. He's a very gutsy coach and a ballsy coach, and he went for it, and that definitely swung the momentum. And he knew it was going the other way. So I wouldn't classify it as a choke. I'd classify what the Patriots did on Sunday Night Football as a choke. So they lost by a touchdown. They missed an extra point that definitely could have potentially changed the outcome of how they played, only being down a field goal, not a touchdown. But needing a touchdown to win versus a field goal to tie going into that last drive. But yeah, that fumble at the end didn't help him at all. That fumble at the end was like the dagger in the back. I guess I just don't consider a choke being ahead or back and forth game all pretty much throughout the game, and then losing by a score. Yeah, absolutely. The Golden one, it was a great game. Believe it or not, I mean, I'd have to say that was probably one of the better games that I've watched so far this year. Besides the Ravens and 49ers game last Sunday. Last night was one of the better games, especially Monday Night Football games. It was a hell of a game. A hell of a game. If you weren't on the seat of your pants the entire game, then you weren't watching the same game that I was, that's for sure. It was a great game. Great game if you ask me. It's Dream Swap. You played our free play. Well, a lot of people played our free play. I played our free play. Can't win them all, unfortunately. We sure do try, and we'll continue to doing what we do. Hang on one second, folks. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, it'll be a nice big bounce back day for our free plays. But rest of the recap, since we went over the free plays already, Indiana and Memphis over 216, NBA winner there. Clemson, Minnesota over 131. That was a winner there. Premium plays ended up 2-1 on the day yesterday. That was nice. NHL package had 2-1 on the day as well. They dropped Vegas and the New York Rangers over 6, ended up being 4-1 final for Vegas getting the job done there. So we dropped that one. Hit the Islanders -1.5, as well as St. Louis -$1.30, beating the Blackhawks. So 2-1 there. Picked up another little bit bet there as well. And then my personal plays, an unorthodox rough day yesterday. We hit Hofstra early. Laying the 6, we squeaked that one in there. Obviously, we dropped Minnesota. We dropped the under. I took the under yesterday, and I missed that one by a country mile. But I even said that in the live show. It was either going to be way under or they were going to score 60-something points. It's a Dream Swap. Y'all pound the free play. This man is scary good off of a loss. The bounce backs are pretty good. Bounce backs are pretty strong. Ain't that right, Jamar, if you're still watching? And then South Dakota and Washington over 136. We actually bet it, and we had about an hour and a half window where all the books had that game at 136. About an hour and a half window when I texted it out. And then we pushed that line all the way up to 141. And a lot of people I told to stay off of it. If you didn't get it early, I told you to stay off of it. And if you didn't get it early, you got lucky because you got a free pass and missed out on a loser yesterday. So count your blessings that you were late for once. Usually late costs you, but You missed out on one there. So unorthodox losing day for myself yesterday. Be a nice big bounce back today. I love what we're putting out today. A lot of low hanging fruit in college hoops today. Something dangling in front of my face in the NBA as well. So should be a good time, that's for sure. But we're going to jump right into it. We're going to break down some college basketball. I'm not going to be live for too long today, guys. I do apologize. It's going to be a busy day for me. I got to go to the old bank and grab a check for, haters will say it's fake, but for $120K to pay for the options of the new house that we're building. So, well, part of the options anyways. They cover the first $100K and we cover the rest. So they already broke ground on our big, it's not that big. It's actually smaller than our other one, but on the new house they actually broke ground. Started digging it up and, digging up that mama's basement for me so we have a place to work. Jamar says he wouldn't be here for years if it wasn't true. Absolutely fact. Fact. I do agree. So yesterday gave out some, see how our leans panned out for everybody yesterday. Let's take a look at those real quick, and then we'll jump into the breakdowns, and we'll start breaking down some games today. Big selection of games today, so it should be good. Miami winning outright was a shock, so that one didn't pan out. I know Canisius and Hofstra over. That one was went way under by a country mile. How about South Florida beating Furman yesterday? That was a shock right there. I'm glad we didn't bet on that one. Kansas State not covering the 24 yesterday. So we hit on Florida A&M, or you would have hit. Remember, these are just leans. I don't actually bet them unless I tell you I bet them. Washington laying the 13. That was a winner. And then where did it all go? Where did that game go? Oh, Minnesota against Clemson. So we ended up splitting out on leans yesterday. So rough day overall, but Premium Plays had a winning day, so that was good. I know our Premium Play clients were probably much happy to get a nice big Premium Play win. And we're going to do it again today. Be another good day today. We actually, usually Tuesdays for most people seem to be light days, but these are days that we been known to take full advantage of sleeping books and sleeping consumers, and it's exactly what we're going to do today. We've got a very, very, very action-packed, busy day. I have 4 premium play or 4 personal plays today. We have 4 premium plays. Premium plays are actually split up: 2 NBA, 2 college basketball, and mine's 1 NBA. And I've got 3 college basketball on the game schedule for today, and I really think we got a lot of low-hanging fruit. And I don't think we're going to be blindsided by much today. So there's definitely some interesting trap games on the board today that can get you in hot water if you don't swim between the lines correctly. But it should be a good day overall. We're going to do some breakdowns here in just a minute, and hopefully put you guys on the right side of some games, get you guys on a free play. And as I said, I'm not going to be live for too much longer. I'm going to be live for about we might be live for another hour and a half. I guess that's good enough. I guess that's probably more more live time than what most people do. Not like our normal shows. We've been actually running quite long shows lately, but hey, I don't mind it. My throat might. My voice might, but I don't, that's for sure. So while we're getting started, I'm getting all my live odds up and running. That way we could jump straight into some game day breakdowns for you guys and hopefully do a much better job than we did yesterday, because yesterday was definitely subpar. Even from the leans to my personal plays, the reads were completely off. So it's time to get those back on track for you, and we're going to do that today. So why don't you guys post up in the comments who you guys like, get the chat rolling, get some user interaction going. That way we can get some user participation. And if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. We welcome everybody here. We probably have one of the most friendliest live chats on sports betting on all of YouTube. There's no drama, no BS, none of that here. You won't find none of that here. That's the best thing about our live chat, and that we actually actively encourage you guys to actually participate in it. So as long as you're not another sports service who hasn't talked to me prior, feel free to post what you like in the chat. Share it around with everybody. If you're betting something or you don't like something, or you're scared of betting something, post it up in the live chat, and let's get that rolling. It's Dream Swap says LSU is gonna rout Georgia in the SEC championship game, and that's one thing that we're gonna do tomorrow, guys. So tomorrow and Thursday's schedule. What we're gonna do tomorrow is we're gonna actually take a look. We're gonna run through all the conference championship games tomorrow. We're not going to do full game day breakdowns. We're going to just do partial quick breakdowns. We're going to take a live look ahead into the weekend and what to expect, some early line movements, maybe take a look at some early leans. But remember, if I give a lean out on a Wednesday, that may change come game day on Saturday or even Friday for the Pac-12 championship game. So unless I'm really ready to make a bet early, which isn't always the case, if I give out a lean early, it's just exactly what it is, just what I'm leaning at right now. So, but we'll give we'll do tomorrow, the first part of the show. We'll take a live look ahead at all the conference championship games for Friday and Saturday, and then on Thursday's live show, not only will we do Thursday night football between the Cowboys and the Bears, but we'll also do a live look ahead at every single game on the board on Sunday, including Monday Night Football. So we'll do that tomorrow, and then on Thursday we'll do the NFL. And then obviously, as our college basketball breakdowns and our daily breakdowns for the games that are taking place on that exact day. Frankie Diamond likes Duke plus 5 today. Duke looks attractive today. We're gonna talk about that game. We're gonna talk about the Louisville game as well, and we're gonna have a good time on it. That's for sure. All right. So let's get into it. I think we got everything up and running. I think it's posted on our website. We're live streaming on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, and obviously here on YouTube and our website. So if you are watching us on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, please come over to YouTube. Just go to YouTube, either the YouTube app or youtube.com. In the search, just type in Cappers Nation Live. Our live show will pop up. And then you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go, and then you can come join us live. Then you can come join us live and have a great time, because it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good show. We're going to do some breakdowns for you guys. I know there's some big games on the board. We got Michigan and Louisville tonight at 7:30 Eastern time. We got Duke and Michigan State tonight, a little bit later than that. I mean, there's some great games on the board, especially not only to watch but to bet. There should definitely be some very competitive, exciting games on TV tonight for you guys. but more importantly, that low dangling fruit. We're going to break it down and we're going to tell you which ones to be plucking. All right, we're going to tell you which ones to be plucking. Big D Mole in the house. What's going on, sir? What's going on, Alex? How are you, buddy? Maybe a tad bit better than yesterday, but I still congested and feel the ear infection. But other than that, my throat's off a little bit, my sound, but it could be the 3-hour live shows as well as the ear infection, sinus infection, and the cough that I had that's keeping me from talking normal. So we're almost there. We're almost back to normal. But thank you, though. Appreciate it. One second, folks. Got to log into one more here and see if we can't. All right. Rich, what's going on, brother? So obviously Duke and Michigan State is going to be a big game day breakdown for you guys. Michigan and Louisville, Iowa, Syracuse. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do those. What we'll do is we'll go right down the list of some games that I think are going to be, some of the big thrill factors for you guys. Duke at Michigan State. Florida State, Indiana. That one will be on ESPN2. Butler and Mississippi. We'll take a look at that game. That'll be on the SEC network. And then we'll take a look at Michigan, Louisville, and then Iowa and Syracuse. So between those 4 games, 3 of them will be on ESPN or ESPN2. The other will be on the SEC network. And then our late night chaser breakdown will be the Arizona State San Francisco game for you guys. Well, I guess it's a good thing I'm not on a 15-2 run right now, right? Rio C, what's going on, brother? So we're just going to go right down the list. I don't have some of these. I'll have some strong leans on. Some of them I may not. So we'll jump right into the first one for you guys. Yeah, I seen Rui's eating a lot of fucking pizza just the other night. So maybe Joshua. Matt says he likes the over in the Michigan State game, as well as Michigan State laying the 5. Yeah, I'll be honest, so there's nothing better than riding a hot hand. Alex, I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a good game. I think Clippers are laying a lot of points, though. I think Clips are laying a lot of points in that game. But, I mean, it is Portland. They shouldn't have that that hard of a time putting away Carmelo Anthony and the rest of the Trailblazers. All right, let's get started. Let's just jump right into it. Hold on one second, folks. Hold on, and then we're going to be able to get started. Okay. Let's get past what's going on. All right, let's jump into the college basketball breakdowns. Let me get my computer situated here. First one that we are going to touch is going to be the big one. Actually, I think there's two big ones, but this is probably the marquee matchup of the night. Duke and Michigan State. I think Michigan and Louisville will come in a close second to TV ratings as far as how many people view in as well. Mr. Mike, what's going on? Skip, no, we're just doing breakdowns right now. We're jumping right into it. Duke, Michigan State, guys. First of all, let's just take a look at the line on this game and see where everything's at. At the current moment, as where it opened, Michigan State opened up as a 5-point favorite. If you already bet Michigan State at 5, then you did good. If you bet Duke at 5, you're getting hosed. That line is already up to 6.5. Duke laying 6. Duke catching 6.5. Michigan State laying 6.5. Total opened up at 145.5. Believe it or not, it's up to 147.5 right now. Total on that game up to 147.5. Let's take a look at Michigan State, guys. Michigan State 5-2 on the year, suffering 2 big losses to 2 high-profile teams, but one petered out after that. First of all, they lost their opening game to Kentucky 69-62 in that game. If you guys remember, they had a couple gimme games over Binghamton. They barely nudged out a road victory over Seton Hall in a close game that they barely won 76-73, excuse me. And then they had another gimme game against Charleston Southern. They came back in their first tournament game, if you guys remember, the Maui Invitational, and they got beat. They got beat by Virginia Tech +5, and we actually took Virginia Tech in that game, if you guys remember correctly. They came back. They bounced, still in a tournament situation. They bounced back with a win over Georgia, beating them by 8, 93-85, in a game that we saw zero defense by Michigan State. And then a game where they beat UCLA, which has petered off. They beat them 75-62. Well, here they are. They're at home. Tom Izzo's got his Spartans guys at home, and he's got old Duke. He's got a tough task tonight, all right? They definitely going to have a tough task. The Breslin Center, guys, it's a fairly big arena. It holds just under 15,000 people, 14,797. It's the 32nd largest. However, it's only coming in at a 3.5 home court advantage score, which makes it, the 110 toughest place to play. So where Duke plays, guys, at the Cameron Indoor Stadium, comes in with roughly, the same home court advantage. So, it's not an unfamiliar place for Duke to play. They've played there over the years. The crowd's going to be riled up, obviously, for Michigan State. So you're definitely going to give a point or two edge right there for the home court advantage, excuse me. But when you're taking a look at Duke, one-loss Duke, 7-1 on the year. Let's see what they did. They got rid of Kansas, a close game to start the year. They beat them 68-66. They had a gimme game over Colorado. They beat them by 34. Another gimme against Central Arkansas. They beat them by 51. Georgia State, they beat by 11. Cal, they beat by 35. Georgetown, they beat by 8, 81-73. Oh, and then they were at home and they ran into Stephen F. Austin like plus 10,001. They ended up losing in overtime 85-83. And then they had Winthrop. Winthrop on Friday, home game against Winthrop. They beat them by 13. They did not cover the spread. Taking a look ahead, here they are. They're on the road. They actually have two tough road games, just a couple days apart. They get obviously Michigan State today, and then they go on the road and they get Virginia Tech. They get Virginia Tech on the road. Sorry about that. I was looking at something. But taking a look at these two teams side by side, let's compare them both side by side. Because you've got, the number 1 offense going to be going up against the number 4 defense in Division 1. And again, the number 21 offense in Duke going up against the 15th ranked defense in Michigan State. So no doubt about it, Michigan State has, as far as adjusted efficiency goes, has the best overall offense in Division 1. As far as defense goes, Duke's right up there, number 4 in the league. As Duke's offense, 21st is where we have them, and Michigan State's defense, we've got them at 15th in the league. So it's it's going to be a good game, good matchup. Sorry, I was reading something else. Karen, who do I think will be in the Vegas Bowl? Well, it'll be whoever wins the Mountain West. So either Boise State or Hawaii will be one of the two. One of those two will be playing in it. Against who? I don't know. We'll find out who gets the other side of the Vegas Bowl. Vegas Bowl's never really an exciting bowl. Not for me, anyways. I'm sure my Trojans will end up going to like the New Mexico Bowl or something crazy like that. Yeah, Keith, Stephen F. Austin said Duke sucks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, line is up to 6.5 for Duke. All right, guys, let's take a look at the side-by-side comparison. We're going to read the numbers side by side. We'll start with the number 2 Michigan State, guys. And tomorrow we're going to take a look at all our conferences. For everybody that doesn't know or that's just tuning in, tomorrow's live show, obviously noon Eastern time, 9 Pacific. If you haven't already subscribe, because you're not going to want to miss the next 2 days. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to rattle off every single college football conference championship game. We're going to do a little live look ahead at all of those. And take a look ahead at all the college football conference championship games. And early leans, which obviously are subject to change based on players and walkthroughs and scouting reports and all that good stuff. But we're going to do a live look ahead at that tomorrow, in tomorrow's episode, tomorrow's live show. And then on Thursday, we're going to do not only, obviously, Thursday Night Football, but we're going to do all of Sunday and Monday Night Football. So all of Sunday's action as well as Monday Night Football. We're going to do a quick little rundown of every single game on Thursday. So we're going to do all of that. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. You guys don't want to miss any of the great action later this week. And that's going to be something that we start doing. We're going to start doing, live look aheads. We'll start doing it for the bowl games coming up. It's going to be a great time there. It's always, 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 always a lot of fun. Bowl season, and it's like bowl season is like March Madness to me. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of extra money. It's a lot of games, but it's a lot of money in your pocket. It's a lot of money in your pocket. All right, so let's just go right down the list. Michigan State guys shooting 52.9% from the field overall. They're actually 67th in Division One in this category. Duke not far off at 51.1%. Not much to compare there. Duke does turn the ball over a tad bit more, about almost 3.4% more overall than Michigan State. As far as knocking down three balls, slight little lean towards Duke. They're hitting 35.2% of all their three-point shots compared to the 33.8% for Michigan State. When it comes to those 2-point plays, definite edge for Michigan State. Every jump shot, layup, dunk. Michigan State knocking down 54.2%. Guys, Division I average is 48.9%, and Duke coming in just a little bit over that at 50.3%. All right, but when it comes to free throw shooting, a huge edge for Michigan State. Duke has struggled from the free throw line early this season. They're hitting just 67%. They're almost 3% below the Division I average, which for a Duke team is unacceptable. They're 7-1 because they've had quite a few gimme games And I mean, let's take a look. Obviously, the first game against Kansas, that was their toughest game they've played. They lost to a gimme team that they should have blew out by 30. They ended up losing by 2. All right, they had a close one against Georgia State where they only beat them by 11, and they just beat Georgetown by 8. Other than that, Colorado State, Central Arkansas, Cal, even Georgia State should have been, and Georgia State should have been all gimme games, including Winthrop as well as Stephen F. Austin. So Duke hasn't been blowing out the teams that they should be doing, and one of the reasons why is they definitely can't knock down a free throw hitting 67%, especially when Division I average is 69.7. So taking a look a little more in depth when you're diving into the teams, taking a look at point distribution. Both don't rely on that three ball as much as other teams. Division I average is 30.9% of all points scored come from out deep for most Division I teams. Both are coming in below that. Duke at 25.1% to 27.6% for Michigan State. Both rely heavily on those 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk. Now, free throw shooting, both are right around the 20% is where they rely on how many points scored will come from the free throw line. Now, going to the bench, near identical, 35.4% for Duke and 35% for Michigan State. Both teams have no problem going to the bench and mixing in players. Obviously, you take a look at Tom Izzo's team, and I mean his starting 5 is pretty strong. You got Cassius Winston, Rocket Watts, shooting guard Gabe Brown, forward Malik Hall, power forward Xavier Tillman. Their 6'8" junior center. And one thing that they got to do is they got to sub him out with Marcus Bingham, and Bingham ain't no slouch. This sophomore 6'11", 225, tall, skinny kid. All right, and they'll move Thomas Kither in there as well, another 6'8" sophomore, and they'll move Xavier Tillman around. He'll get to play some power forward spot as well when Malik Hill goes out, or Thomas Kither moves to the center, and with Malik Hill out as well. Kyle Ahearns is the 6'6" senior. He'll get a little time off of the bench right now. Same thing with Foster Lawyer, the sophomore. But when you're taking a look at the starting crew, they've got 2 freshmen, a junior, a sophomore, and a senior. So a pretty diverse, well-rounded group for Michigan State, especially coming off the bench as well. The fact that they've got some strong players, Aaron Henry, Kyle Ahearns, to pull from the bench will definitely keep that Michigan State rotation stacked for those 35% of the minutes that get played by people off the bench. Now with Duke on the other hand, this is a very, very, very young team, and Mike Krzyzewski, he's definitely a coaching's coach, and as we, I would have thought they would have came out and they would have blew Winthrop out of the water, off of their home loss to Stephen F. Austin. And they didn't. They came out, they still struggled to put them away. They were up much bigger. They ended up letting them come right back. They ended up only winning by 13. They got the job done, but they didn't close it out. And a lot of that is inexperiencedness, and Coach Krzyzewski, and he already announced in the beginning of the season, this is going to be a whole different team. This is more of a Duke team from the past, where he's not going to be relying on 80% of the minutes or 85% of the minutes to play come from the starting 5. He's definitely going to go to the bench. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, old Moose. What's going on, guys? He's definitely going to rely on the bench, and he's already shown that so far this season. It averages 35% of the minutes played by bench personnel. And some of that has to do with, some early foul trouble by some key players. You got Trey Jones, the 6'3" sophomore. This kid can absolutely ball out, and he's their point guard, and he's going to be, a big factor in their success, especially, down the road in this, throughout the season. Cassius Stanley, their 6'6" guard, freshman. This kid can play as well, and he needs to hold his composure because, he's getting a lot of minutes. He's getting 61% of the minutes played at the the shooting guard position, and Unfortunately, he picks up those 2 fouls and he's got to go sit down on the bench. He'll get a lot of their little playing time in the forward position as well, but he's way behind Wendell Moore and Joey Baker. So Duke will go to the bench, especially in 3 key positions. The center position. Obviously Vernon Carey. They're 6'10" freshman. I mean, this kid is huge. 6'10", 270. And he'll split playing time. He's going to get the bulk of it, but he's going to split playing time with Javen, what's this kid's name? Delorier, and Matthew Hurt. Matthew Hurt will get a little bit. Matthew Hurt comes off the bench. He'll play power forward and center as well, coming and subbing for Jack White or Vernon Carey. In the center position and the forward position, Wendell Moore gets the bulk of it. But he splits it pretty evenly with the other 3: Joey Baker, Alex Connell, and Cassius Stanley will move over as well and fill in there as a last-minute sub. But then at the shooting guard position, Duke is stacked. I mean, they got Jordan Goldwire. They fill in time. They gave Alex Connell some time there and Joey Baker some time to see what they're able to do. Coach Szynski has definitely moved his players around, trying to find that magic starting 5. And when you're a team stacked with freshmen, and sophomores, and you're coming off of the team that he had last year with Zion and family and friends, it's a lot of these kids haven't, he doesn't have much game experience other than, the 8 games that they've played so far. Hold on one second, guys. Give me 1 second, guys. Texting a client real quick. Okay. So this is definitely be a stacked team once they're able to get another half dozen games under the belt. Mike Krzyzewski should have his system really rolling just in time for good old conference play. So good old conference play coming up here, guys, in not too long. And believe it or not, our system actually has Duke with a projected record of 24-7, which I'm not sure I personally agree with that. I don't always agree with what our system pops out, but it's predicting some more losses, which obviously will be tournament losses because I only count up 3 more on the system that they're predicted to lose: Virginia, North Carolina, and obviously today with the line being 6.5 is what the system spits out. Actually, the system spit out a 5-point loss, which is what the line opened up at. But as far as this game goes, guys, where the line's at currently, the line is at 6.5. Total moved up to 147.5. I think the total's high. Historically for a Duke game. Taking a look at these two teams, side by side and what they're able to do. Yeah, they're both able to put up some points, no doubt about it on that one. I don't have a dollar on this game, believe it or not. I don't have a dollar on this game as far as this, as this game goes. But as far as this game goes, as far as a lean and all of that good stuff, I definitely I definitely lean towards Duke plus the 6.5. I think 6.5 is a lot for Tom Izzo's team. They are at home, so give them 2 points for there. I think if this was on a neutral site game, we would probably see it based on the way Michigan State has played the last couple games down the stretch against Kentucky and Virginia Tech. I could see it being a 3-point favorite on a neutral site game. So, but I still think Michigan State hasn't played since the 27th. They've had plenty of time off. Duke, the 29th, their win over Winthrop after their demoralizing loss against Stephen F. Austin. I don't think Duke wants to, go away with a loss so fast, back-to-back, lose 2 out of their 3, and really get some Duke backers to worry. But it's definitely going to be a tough game for them today. It's not going to be easy, but I do lean towards Duke plus the 6.5. So I think it's going to come down to the wire towards that, last 2 minutes. And I just hope it does for Duke. It doesn't come down to free throw shooting. If it comes down to Duke knocking down their free throws to be able to cover the spread, then it probably won't happen with their poor free throw shooting. As far as the total goes, I lean towards the under. They scored 135 points in their game last March 31st, if you guys remember correctly. Obviously it was March Madness. Those games always seem to be much tighter and more scrutinized on every basket. But historically, between these two teams, I definitely side the under of 147.5 as well. But I don't have a dollar on either one of these two teams. I think there's much better low-hanging fruit out there to take advantage of. But there's breakdown number 1, lean on Duke plus 6.5, as well as the under 147.5. And remember, guys, full disclaimer, when I give you guys a lean, if it's something that I'm going to bet, I'll let you know. But other than that, all it is strictly a lean. And a lean is a lean, something that I lean towards, but I'm actually not going to pull the trigger on unless I tell you I'm going to. And I have no problem telling you guys if I'm going to. So we're going to move right into it. We're going to just try and move these right along. And we're going to jump right into the next one. Next one that we're going to do will be the Florida State-Indiana game. All right, guys, Florida State-Indiana. Let's pop up the live odds for this one, and we'll see where we're headed here. Game 795, 796. Indiana, guys, opened up as a 2.5-point favorite today over Florida State. 17th ranked Florida State that opened up as a 2.5-point dog. It's now down to 1.5. Indiana now laying 1.5. 17th ranked Florida State catching 1.5 on the road against a tough Indiana team, guys. Total opened up at 139. It is down to 136 at the Westgate. I see 136.5. I see 135 at one spot. So we're safe to say it's 136. And let's dive into these two teams. First of all, the Hoosiers, guys, Archie Miller's got his team off to a 7-0 start. But you got to take a look at the caliber of teams that they've played and that they've beat. All right, yeah, they've milked a 7-0 start. We actually have them as a projected record of 20-11. All right, so out of their next 24 games, we've got them only winning 9. All right, so definitely going to be a tough battle here for them today against a Florida State team. They're 7-0. They beat Western Illinois in a gimme game. They beat them by 23. They beat Portland State by 11. They beat North Alabama by a mile. They beat Troy by nearly 40. Beat Troy by 38. They beat Princeton by 25. And then they beat Louisiana Tech by 13. And they just got rid of South Dakota State. Pesty South Dakota State they got rid of by 14. So in the Indiana Hoosiers, guys, they have not been tested. This is going to be their first taste of real competition. They get Florida State today. Then they go on the road on Saturday and face Wisconsin. Excuse me. Here they are. They are at home, guys. Assembly Hall, guys. It's one of the bigger arenas in college basketball. It's actually the 16th largest. It holds just under 17,500 fans. It comes in with a 3-point score home court advantage rank, which ranks at 83rd. So I would definitely give 2 points to 2.5 point advantage for the home court advantage for Indiana, even though they've played scrubs this year. Let's take a look at Florida State and see what they've done and see who they've dismantled or ended up losing to, because obviously they do have that one blemish from their first game of the year, which was a road game against Pittsburgh. They ended up losing in a tough battle there, 63-61, lost by a bucket there at the end of the game. They came back against Florida. Historically, Florida's been able to dominate Florida State the last couple years, and Florida State got the job, beat them by 12. They took care of Western Carolina, but it was a very close game. They barely beat them by 5 at home. They struggled against Western Carolina. Chattanooga at home, that was a gimme game. They beat them by 36. St. Francis was another one of those gimme games, but they only put them away by 15. And then there was Chicago State. I think they beat them by 57, I think it was. And then Tennessee, they got rid of Tennessee. Tennessee's a tough team, and they beat Tennessee by 3 on a neutral site tournament game. And then obviously they just beat Purdue as well in their tournament in overtime. It took overtime to get rid of Purdue on Saturday, guys, but they beat them 63-60. So as far as the tested and vetted team so far, it's definitely going to be the Seminoles. Leonard Hamilton's got his team rolling after dropping the first game to Pittsburgh. They've battled back. They've actually had some really tough games so far. Florida, big competition. Tennessee, big competition. Purdue, competition for them. So they've got a couple big games underneath their belt. But as far as, the primetime lights, here they are, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN2. They get the lights on them. All right, Trent Forrest, they're 6'4" senior. He's going to be leading the role. All right, their point guard's going to be leading the show, and they've got senior leadership there on that aspect. Anthony Polite, 6'6" sophomore. They're going to be starting 1 freshman, 3 sophomore, and then obviously Trent Forrest, their 1 senior that's going to be starting. Other than that, very inexperienced team with the exception of the 3 sophomores that have been with the program. Taking a look at Indiana, guys, it's going to be more of an experienced program. They start a freshman, 3 juniors, as well as, a senior. And I'll get the screen unfrozen real quick. So, more of a well-rounded, experienced team in Indiana, but they're very untested when it comes to playing this year against any quality opponents. Take a look at both of these teams side by side. You'll find out that offenses are very similar. Offenses are very similar in numbers, and we're going to go over that. However, there's no denying Florida State and their defense. We actually have Florida State ranked 3rd best in Division I as far as defense goes. Indiana, not much off at 32. All right, they're actually one of the top-ranked teams in Division I as well when it comes to defense and defending the shots and creating turnovers. In Florida State, guys knocking down 50.7% from the field. Indiana hitting a best 56.4%. They're actually 19th in Division I in this average. Both turn over the ball roughly the same, 18% for Indiana, 19.3% when they're on offense for Florida State. Knocking down the 3 ball. Indiana's I wouldn't say much better, but they're hitting at a higher rate. They're actually clipping 34.7% from out deep. From 3-point range compared to the 31.6% for Florida State. Now, those 2-point plays, those all-important 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk, you'll find that, Florida State only knocking down 52.3%. Yeah, it's above the Division I average, but it's well under the 58.2% of Indiana. And shooting from the free throw line, you got to give the edge to Florida State. That's knocking down even more. Than Indiana. They're hitting 77.8% compared to the just under 73% for Indiana. So both teams knocking down free throws exceptionally well as well. So taking a look at minutes played, both teams go to the bench quite often at almost 40%, 37% for Indiana, 39.3% for Indiana, excuse me. Taking a look at what each team is capable to do, the 2-foul participation protocol, you'll find that Florida State doesn't play in it. Florida State does not play in the much at all the 2-foul participation protocol. For everybody that doesn't know, this is something that a lot of companies or people on YouTube or Twitter or even TV, they won't acknowledge to you guys. They don't discuss it, and a lot of it is because a lot of people just don't understand what it is. And just how important this stat is right here. It's the 2-foul participation. And what it means is, first of all, Florida State's numbers at 6.2%. Indiana's at 29.7%. So what that means is let's take Indiana for example. All right, let's take one of their big their big starting five, because this is where you're going to see it. So let's just say big man Joey Brunk, who gets 50% of the playing time for Indiana. He's their 6'11" junior center. All right, if he picks up 2 fouls early in the first half, most coaches' strategy, you pick up that second foul, you're on the bench. You're on the bench for the rest of the first half. It doesn't matter how quick you get it. You're usually riding the bench up until either the start of the second half or a few minutes into the second half. You may not actually come out and start, but you may start, that 2 to 5 minutes into the second half, depending on, how quickly you picked up those fouls in the first half. So if Joey Brunk picks up 2 fouls, let's just say at the 10-minute mark of the first half, and he picks up those 2 fouls, most coaches, you're going to ride the bench. Well, not Archie Miller's squad. All right, he's going to allow his players and his team to play for nearly 30% of the remaining available minutes after that 10-minute mark. So if he picks up that second foul at 10 minutes, he's going to allow him to play roughly 30% of the remaining available minutes. Well, if there's 10 minutes available remaining, he's going to play for at least 3. There's a reason why we track this stat, all right? There's a reason why we track this stat. It helps with breaking down totals, over and unders. How likely is a team to play defense if they're loaded up with 2 fouls and they're in foul trouble, but yet their coach allows them to play? See what I'm saying? So if Indiana State's got a couple players out there, if they're big men, Joey Brunk or Jackson Davis pick up 2 fouls, or they both pick, God forbid they both took up 2 fouls, and they're both in there at the same time, how likely are they to play defense? Not very likely. They don't want to pick up that third foul. They don't want to pick up a loose ball foul. They don't want to have a sloppy swat of a ball to try and block a shot and accidentally hit the hand and pick up that third foul. Their game's practically done. They're going to ride the bench, for well into the second half. So when we see a high number, it allows, it's not always the case, but it allows for it to be more scoring by the opposition, because that team is not going to be playing as hard on defense if they pick up that second foul. They're not going to be trying to defend every single shot as if he was playing with no fouls and still had 5 to give before he's out of the game. So big stat right there. Big advantage towards Florida State in this one. All right, big advantage towards Florida State in this one. As far as, that part of, the breakdown. As far as, an opinion on this game, I do have an opinion on this one. It was actually very close to actually being a play. It was very close to actually being a play for me on this one. But I do lean towards the dog here. I like Florida State. I like the tested and vetted team so far. I like Florida State plus the 1.5. As far as the total on this game goes, total being over and under 136 at the current moment, I think it's going to be close. We actually have it. I think it's going to be a close game as well. I don't think Florida State blows them out. I think they hang in tough. They win by a bucket, and I think it's going to be a close game. But I'll tell you this much: if I had to do anything on the over, I'd bet the over on this one. So I do lean towards the over 136. If you can get it lower, better. We actually have it as a final score of 70-69 in favor of Florida State. So you guys can mark that down and see how close we are on our final score prediction. 70-69 for Florida State. Don Doe, what's going on, sir? Darren, Travis Matthews swag. Yeah, it's more like my daily attire. Yeah, I'm a Travis Matthews brat. What can I say? It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time today, guys. First of all, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Subscribe. That way you get notified every single time we drop a video. It doesn't matter if it's live like this or pre-recorded. You'll be notified. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be live Monday through Friday. We're live. Obviously, it's a Tuesday in the morning, and we're live. We'll be live again tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. We're going to be actually taking a live look ahead into all the college football conference championship games tomorrow, as well as daily game day breakdowns. We'll go over college basketball, the NBA. We're going to try and squeeze in some NHL tomorrow as well and see what we could do there. But we're going to do a live look ahead into the conference championship game, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss that. And then we're going to do that all over again on Thursday, except we're going to make it obviously the game day Thursday night football breakdown between the Cowboys and the Bears, but we're going to do the rest of Sunday's NFL card as well as whatever else is going on Thursday as well. So we're going to start throwing in some live look-aheads for you guys because I know you guys have asked me for that, and want to start throwing that out for you guys. So should definitely make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. All right, let's just jump right into it, guys. And if you appreciate all the hard work, guys, do us a big favor. Give us a big thumbs up in the video if you appreciate all the hard work. Plenty of people here. We should have plenty of either thumbs up or thumbs downs if you don't like the video. But if you don't like the video, I'm not sure why you're here in the first place. But if you appreciate all the hard work that we do to bring you guys the free content, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, do us a big favor. Give us that big thumbs up. That way we start building the channel even bigger than where it is today. Pro Rock JK, what's going on, sir? All right, let's jump right into the next breakdown, guys. I already have it up and rolling for you guys. It's going to be a good one. We're going to take a look at Butler and Mississippi next. Butler and Mississippi game coming right up to you guys right here, right now is going to be the next breakdown for you guys. Should be a great game. Should be a close game. This one will be on the SEC network for everybody that's going to be looking for it to see where it's televised. As far as the opening line versus where it's at now, let me pop all that good stuff up for you guys if I can find it in a timely manner. I've probably passed it 3 times already looking. I wish what we had for our breakdowns as well as the live lines actually coincided with the exact same numbers. But it's game 751, 752, folks. Mississippi opened up as a 1.5 point favorite. They're still hovering right around 1.5. I do see them down to 1 at the station's properties. Butler catching 1.5. Total opened up at 130. It's still sitting at 130 at the Westgate and 130.5 in a few other places. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. We're always appreciative when you guys do hit the thumbs up button. Thank you, Rich. It's always much appreciated. Yeah, Darren, definitely not a size 30 waist. No. 34, 36, somewhere right around there. I'm in between sizes, unfortunately. All right, guys, let's take a look. Let's start with the 5-2 Ole Mississippi Rebels, guys. Kermit Davis Jr. has got his team had him off to a hot start of 4-0 with wins over Arkansas State, Norfolk State, Western Michigan, and Seattle. Before they ran into Memphis, they lost by 1 to Memphis, 87-86 on the road in Memphis. They came back. They had a very close game against Penn State. They beat Penn State by 2. And then they just dropped a game to Oklahoma State. Mississippi was held to 37 points. Chuck, we have guaranteed Saturday every single Saturday. So, yep, we will have one. They're going to be playing at the Pavilion at Ole Miss, guys. Not a big arena, 9,500 screaming fans. It actually comes in with a high score and the home court advantage ranking of 3.9, making it the 35th toughest place to play in all of Division One. Game of the week? Nope. I'll let you know when I get one, though. When I got something worthy of one, you guys will be the first to know. So just playing at the Pavilion at Ole Miss, I'm definitely going to give a 2.5 point advantage towards Mississippi here, just for the fact that they do have that big home court advantage over the 7-0 Butler Bulldogs, guys. LeVar Jordan, he's got his team rolling to a 7-0 start. Marcus, good morning, sir. Got him rolling to a nice, nice hot start with wins to start the year. Big wins over Minnesota, beating them 64-56. They took care of Morehead State, beat them by 18. They beat Missouri, the SEC school down there, 63-52. And they just had a very, very, very close neutral site game against always the tough Stanford Cardinals, beating them 68-67. Barely squeaking away a victory by 1 on a neutral site game that beat them by 1. Well, Kong, as of right now, we're doing Butler and Mississippi at the moment. And we already have some games lined out, but if we have time, we'll throw that one in. But I don't know if we're going to have time or not. So, the Butler Bulldogs are definitely rolling. LeVar Jordan's got his kids playing in sync. They did just have a close game against Stanford last Tuesday, the 26th. So they've had plenty of time off. They've had, this is a full week off for them to be able to go on the road and take on Mississippi. Not too big of a travel from, Indianapolis down to Oxford, Mississippi. So it's not a huge road travel schedule for them. They come back and they get Florida at home on Saturday. So just a quick little road trip down to Mississippi for them. But it's definitely going to be a tough game. They're going to be in for a tall order against the Mississippi Rebels, who are definitely coming off a disastrous neutral site loss where they failed to put up more than 37 points against Oklahoma State. Sean McDermott, the 6'6" senior for Butler, he's going to need to be on their game. Bryce Golden will fill in at center right behind Bryce Nyes. They both pretty much split it 50-50. They split the playing time there at the center position 50-50. Butler is not a tall team at all by any means. Butler is not a big team. When it comes to height advantage, believe it or not, either is Mississippi. Although they do have their their big 6'10" junior Kaiden Sai. Their center. Other than that, pretty average numbers all the way around. 6'2" point guard, 6'2" shooting guard. Luis Rodriguez, the 6'6" sophomore. But the big man, Kadim Sai, 6'10". No real advantage for size or anything like that down on the glass. When you're taking a look at the two teams side by side, you'll find out Butler's got a very quality offensive program rolling. They actually have the 19th best adjusted efficiency for offense so far in Division One. But Mississippi, no slouch on defense, coming in at the 52nd ranked defense. But their offense is slouching, and Butler's defense is no joke either. Believe it or not, we actually have them ranked 35th as far as their adjusted efficiency goes on defense in all of Division One. But that factors into the quality of opponent as well. But Butler knocking down 55.1% from the field compared to 47.6% for Mississippi when they're shooting that 3-ball. Butler knocking down 34.6%. However, Mississippi, when they're on D, they're holding teams to just 24.7% shooting from out deep, which is a very similar number to what we're going to see on the other side. Although Mississippi only averages 30.9% from out deep, but the Butler defense, that 19th ranked defense, is holding teams at 26.3% shooting from out deep. So both teams are going to be facing a a solid defensive unit that definitely puts a hand in the face and defends a 3-ball very well and makes sure that their opponent doesn't get a clean look. Now all those 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk definitely is going to favor Butler. They're hitting 56.9%. Of all their 2-point plays compared to the 48.3% for Mississippi. Now, free throw shooting, pretty even number, 73.4% for Mississippi, 72.3% of every free throw made for Butler. Now, when you're taking a look at, going to the bench, Butler goes to the bench for 27.4% of the minutes compared to 36.3% for Mississippi. So, Laval Jordan, he tries to stick with his starting 4 for much of the game. But there's a couple positions, Aaron Thompson's going to get the bulk at the point guard position. That kid's going to play nearly 80% of the minutes. Kamar Baldwin, same thing at guard. He'll get, 65% of the minutes. But then after that, it's pretty much 50-50 with just a couple players splitting minutes. Sean McDermott's going to split time at that forward position. He'll get half the minutes, but he's going to split the rest with Henry Badley as well as Christian David. And then in the power forward position, Jordan Tucker, this kid gets in foul trouble. He's only averaging 40% of the minutes played. I can promise you, Coach Jordan would probably much rather this kid be getting 65 or 70% of the minutes, but they can't keep him off the bench. He'll split time with Bryce Nyes, who will move over from the center position. Bryce Nyes will end up playing, close to 80% of the game, and that'll be split up between center and power forward, because when Jordan Tucker goes out there, obviously, their first priority is they move him over to power forward, and they'll move the 6'9" sophomore Bryce Golden off the bench to play center, who gets, half the time because Bryce Nyes has got to go play power forward because Jordan Tucker's riding the bench. So if Butler can stay out of foul trouble and keep their starting 5 on the court, they'd be a much stronger team, and you'd see it with much more convincing wins, like teams over Stanford where they barely beat them by 1 in a neutral site game, Missouri that they beat by 11, Minnesota that they beat by 8 at home, barely squeaking by them. So it's something that they're going to have to do, and they're going to have to watch out for. As far as the 2-foul participation protocol, both coaches are not big fans of letting their players play. Mississippi is only allowing 14.1% of the available minutes to be played once you got 2 fouls in the first half, compared to the 18.9% for Butler. And those numbers are well below the Division I average of 21.1%. So remember, all these percentiles that I tell you guys, these are all updated daily based on every single Division I college basketball game. That's what you get when you pay Stats LLC. You get the quality stuff, the same things that the bookmakers make. That's why our numbers are sometimes, not always, but the numbers are rock solid. Mr. Watson, good morning, good morning, good morning. So, and I'll be able to, click a button and tell you all conference-only stats once these teams move into conference play as well, and be able to get some exact conference numbers as well, because numbers always shift for conference play as well. So, as far as this game goes, as far as the line on this game, I'm going to side with the dog. I think there's going to be some dog winners here. I'm going to lean towards Butler plus the 1.5. I think Butler gets the job done, beats Mississippi, and beats them outright. Yeah, Tom, you've been doing a great job cashing on those NFL prop bets. All right, next game that we're going to touch, guys. Next game that we're going to touch here in just a minute. I'll try and run through a couple more of these games for you guys. But we're going to do the Michigan and Louisville game, guys. All right, number 10, Michigan. And number 1, Louisville. Going to go at it. Number 4, Michigan jumping up to the 4th spot. Excuse me. Don't let me insult the old Wolverines there. They're going to get top-ranked Louisville at home today. Actually, they're going to get them on the road today. They're going to get Louisville at home, and they're going to have a tough time. It's going to be a great game. So that game's coming up next, guys, so don't miss out. For everybody that doesn't know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of those sales were extended, all right? All those sales were extended for you guys, so don't miss out on one of those. If you thought that they were over and you wanted to jump on board a month of my personal plays for $5, or you wanted to jump on 3 months for a dime, there's still plenty of opportunities to do that. If you wanted that big 2-year deal where you get 2 years of premium plays, my personal plays guaranteed Saturday, as well as my game of the weeks for that killer deal for less than $48 a week. Still plenty of opportunities to do that and take full advantage. And I'm telling you guys, you won't be disappointed, that's for sure. That's for sure. So we're going to dive into the next game day breakdown for you guys. Remember, we already have a free NBA play out there for you guys in our daily free play video. That's out there. And we're going to have another one for you guys as well in this video. I don't know if I'm going to give you guys NBA just yet or college hoops. Either way, it'll be a nice big winner for you guys. And it's going to be a good time. So, don't forget our late night chaser breakdown will be the Arizona State-San Francisco game. We'll break that one down in its entirety live for you guys here as well. And for everybody that's new to the channel, we'll be live Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, as well as Saturday and Sundays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, same time every single day. We don't change it because somebody else wants to go live on top of us, because they get a day off of work and they want to try and take advantage and go live, or whatever the case may be. We go live, set schedule. I know there's a lot of shows out there, so if you guys decide to watch another show, no problem. You guys aren't going to hurt my feelings. But just remember, our live shows are always archived right on our YouTube channel. They're always posted on our website, cappersdirect.com. You can always watch them archived. Obviously, you can't participate in the live chat, but you can participate after the fact and drop us a comment after the fact as well. So we're always very appreciative when you guys do watch live with us, and it makes it more fun, especially when you guys participate in the live chat. So if you're new, come participate with us. Come join us in the live chat. It's always a great time, and it's always a riot when you guys participate in the live chat. So let's keep those game day breakdowns rolling. We're already 3 deep. We did the Duke and Michigan State game. We did Florida State, Indiana. We did Butler and Mississippi. Now we're moving right into the Michigan, 4th ranked Michigan, as well as the number 1 ranked Louisville. Going to be going at it tonight, guys. And this will be another game, obviously, marquee matchup, televised live, ESPN, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time from the KFC Yum Center, which, let's just start right there for Louisville, guys. 7-0 on the year, playing at home. It's a big arena, holds 22,000 screaming fans. But luckily for Michigan, it's not that hard of a place to play, and comes in with a home court advantage rank of 3.4, which puts it in the top third of Division I, but it's not an extreme tough place. Comes in at 3.4, which makes it the 125th best or 125th toughest place to play. Not like right around the same score ranking as the Chrysler Center for up there in Ann Arbor where Michigan plays. So obviously the hometown crowd will be screaming, will be rooting on the Cardinals trying to beat the Wolverines today. So you got to factor that in the noise level. It'll definitely be a noisy arena. Chris Mack will have his players ready, as well as the fans will be ready to do their job. So that'll you gotta, right off the bat, you gotta give a 2-point edge to Louisville for just playing at home and having that home court advantage, and those screaming fans in their back pocket. So taking a look at the game, taking a look at the side of the game and where the line opened up to where it's at now, you'll find where did it go? Let's see here. There's Duke and Michigan State. We already did that one. I probably missed it 4 times already. That's what I get for being sick. I did. It's right at the top of the list. Third down, 7:45 and 7:46. Louisville opened up as a 7-point favorite. We've seen some money come in on Michigan, which has brought the line down to 5.5. Total opened up at 138.5. The total was up a point to 139.5. All right, which seems a little high to me right off the top, especially for these two teams. I think we might see a big defensive game. Both of these teams unbeaten. They're going to one of them is going to walk away with a blemish record after today. Robert, what's going on? Thank you, I appreciate that. KDO, what's going on? Welcome. Both of these teams, like I said, undefeated, going to walk away with a blemish. Sad, but one of these teams is going to be a one-loss team after today. Louisville 7-0. Chris Mack's got the Cardinals rolling, guys. They had wins over Miami of Florida to open the year on the road. They beat them by 13. They beat Youngstown State in a gimme game. They beat Indiana State by 29. They beat North Carolina Central by 29 as well. They beat USC Upstate by 26. They struggled against Akron. All right, Louisville struggled at home against Akron. I think they took the night off and they thought they were going to have some easy work made in that game, and they took the night off. They barely beat them by 6. They let Akron come right back into it, and then they had Western Kentucky this last Friday. And they finally put the pedal to the metal. They beat them by 17, which is actually on the low side from what Louisville has actually been beating up opponents by. Chris Mack's got his players rolling. He's got Lamar Kimball, the 6-foot senior, out there in the point guard position. And the fact that, Louisville is, the experience level, just that aspect will make them number one. Starting 4 seniors and a junior. And even the players that they've got on the bench to come up are juniors. Okay, well, Samuel Williamson, he's the lone freshman that gets more than 9% playing time. He'll split he'll split much of the remaining 50%, at the forward position with Dwayne Sutton, the 6'5", 220-pound senior. He'll split the time with Samuel Williamson, and then the other freshman, Josh Nickelberry, will get not much, few minutes a game. Other than that, usually when it's in a blowout situation. But Lamar Kimball, he'll play, for half the game, at the point guard position, and then they'll put in Darius Perry once they blow him out. They're 6'10" senior Stephen Notch, the big man at center. This kid is an absolute beast for Louisville, and he's definitely going to have a big game today. But Louisville, one stat that you got to notice is they'll split the bench time at 30%. 29.4% of all available minutes played are by bench personnel coming off the bench compared to 24.1 for Michigan. Michigan's going to rely more so on their starting 5. Xavier Simpson is going to command 75% of all the minutes played in the game. He's going to play 3/4 of the game. They're 6-foot senior point guard, and no different than Louisville, but Michigan's starting a very, very, very experienced team. Yeah, they're not all seniors, but they've got 2 seniors and 3 juniors as their starting core, and Franz Wagner, the only freshman that will see significant playing time for the Michigan squad at the power forward position. He'll get they pretty much split that power forward position, right down the way 3 ways between Isaiah Livers, Franz Wagner, Brandon Johns. They'll each split them up and get a third of the minutes at that position. other than that, the two key players for Michigan is Xavier Simpson. He's going to get 3/4 of the playing time, and then John Teskey, their 7'1" senior. That's their big man, 265 pounds, 7'1". He'll get a bunch of the playing time at center. He'll give up a third of it to Con Castellan and Austin Davis. Another senior will get some playing time only when they're blowing players out. So, but John Teskey and Xavier Simpson are going to be key for Michigan here to have some success. Take a look at what Xavier Simpson's done as of late. He played 34 of 40 minutes against Gonzaga. They just played Gonzaga guys on the 29th. All right, he played 34 minutes. He put up only 13 points. All right, he only put up 13 points. The game against North Carolina that they won, he played 17 minutes because he was in foul trouble. All right, this is a kid that needs to stay out of foul trouble. His first two games at home of the year against Appalachian State and Creighton, he picked up 2 early fouls and he rode the bench. He's, and against North Carolina he fouled out. That's why he only had 17 minutes played. He was in foul trouble. He put up 7 points. Somehow they were able to get the victory and get a nice big win. But it was not by him, of course. It was obviously coming from the bench because he only played 17 of 40 minutes because of foul trouble. So, Juwan Howard, you get in foul trouble, you're gonna ride the bench. You're gonna ride the bench. So, when Michigan opened up wins over Appalachian State, they got rid of Creighton by 10. Gimme game against Elon. Houston Baptist, they beat by like 200. They struggled against Iowa State. They barely beat them by 7 in a neutral site game. They took care of North Carolina. What can we say? They beat North Carolina. They beat them by 9. And they just got rid of Gonzaga. All right, you guys, there's 2 quality back-to-back opponents. And it's not going to get any easier for them today in Louisville. They've got a big game, a big tall task ahead of them today. They're catching 5.5 points as a 5.5 point dog. They were a 7-point dog to start, when that line first came out yesterday. So it's definitely going to be a good game. Let's break down the teams side by side and see what we see. Caesar, you're very welcome, sir. It's always appreciated. So let's take a look at these two teams side by side. You're going to find out that, both of them have top-ranked offenses and defense. Let's just start with Louisville. We've got them as the number 2 adjusted efficiency on offense in the entire Division I. Michigan coming in at 25th. As far as defense goes, we've got Louisville coming in at 8th and Michigan right behind them at 12th. So obviously, small little edge when it comes to shooting, and you're going to see where both of them excel at different spots. Shooting from the field, Michigan hitting 61.4%. All right, that's second in this category in all of Division I. While Louisville ain't no slouch. They ain't that far behind them at 5th at 59.4%. Knocking down the 3 balls, both are very versatile at knocking down the 3. Michigan clipping 42.4% of all their 3-point shots are landing in the bucket. All right, but they'll be going up against a Louisville defense that's holding teams to 28.7% shooting from out deep. All right, Louisville, they hit 40.8% from out deep, and again, Michigan will be in their face. Michigan's holding teams to just over 30% shooting from out deep, 30.4%. All the 2-point plays. This is a big number, and it's actually, a big number for both programs, believe it or not. It's 60% shooting of all the 2-point plays for Michigan, every jump shot, layup, and dunk. Michigan's knocking down 60%. All right. Louisville, 58.4%. Who's coaching Michigan? Juwan Howard, or however you pronounce his name. Now, back to the breakdown. Both of these teams hitting from the free throw line. A definite edge to Louisville. They're clipping 75.8%. They definitely have room to work. They're only the 43rd best free throw shooting team in the league. But luckily for them, they're going to be going up against a Michigan team that's ranked 230. Michigan struggling from the line, guys, hitting only 67.8% But luckily for them, they only rely on the free throw for 10.6% of all the remaining minutes available. Or not remaining minutes available. For all the points scored, they're only relying on 10.6 of them. All right? And one of the reasons why, horrible foul shooting. All right, horrible free throw shooting. Randy C., thank you. A little bit better. A little bit better. Not much, but a little bit. Definitely clouded and congested, and I feel it in my throat, but we're getting there. We're getting there, that's for sure. Now, 2-foul participation protocol. Michigan don't play that way, all right? 5.4% of the time compared to 24.5% for Louisville. Chris Mack trusts his players. If they're in with 2 fouls, he's going to trust some of their big men to play, but it's one of the reasons why, some of them are only getting, 46 to 50% of the minutes available is because of foul trouble. You take a look at, what's the kid's name? Jamar Kimball. What game was it? Indiana State picked up 2 fouls early. He still only averaged 25 minutes, which, believe it or not, was his big game. So, his players end up being, Chris Mack's players end up being rested, that's for sure. They're able to go a full game. And that's one thing, as we've seen and that we've bet on and we've lost money on and we've made observations with Michigan, as you guys know, where Michigan fails is they fail to play a full 40 minutes. They fail to play a full 40 minutes, but they turned it around. They struggled against Iowa State. They let Iowa State keep it close and come back in it in their first tournament game. But against North Carolina, guys, they played 40 minutes and they got the job done. All right, they played against Gonzaga. They played 40 minutes and they smashed them. They got the job done. All right, now they beat Gonzaga by 18, which was an absolute shock. So I actually watched that game. I didn't have $1 on it, but I watched it on last Friday. And I was surprised Michigan was able to just manhandle the shooting of Gonzaga and hold Gonzaga to 64 points in that game. And, you take a look at the players from Michigan in that game, and not all of them had great shooting or great performances. They all pretty much stayed out of foul trouble for the most part. John Teskey, Franz Wagner all picked up 3 fouls. But for the most part, Isaiah Livers was the MVP in their big win over Gonzaga. He played 34 minutes, put up 21 points, shot 3 for 3, 5 of 8 from out deep, and was never put on the free throw line. So their big man, John Teskey, had 10 rebounds on 31 minutes in that game. Went 8 of 12 shooting and 1 of 3 from out deep. As well as, who else had a big bulk of it? Franz Wagner played 25 minutes, went 4 of 7, 2 of 2 from the line. So, poor free throw shooting. They were only put on the line 5 times. They only made 2 of them. So, that was the most part. Gonzaga didn't create a lot of fouls in that, put up a lot of fouls. Matter of fact, it wasn't a lot of fouls total, period, in that game. 20 total. If Michigan wins, are they the legit number 1? After getting rid of Gonzaga, North Carolina, and Iowa State and Creighton, yeah. Who dat, Bob? Good afternoon. Feeling a little bit better. We're almost there. But yeah, in my opinion, if Michigan beats Louisville today on the road, they will definitely be a legit number 1 contender. Now, Louisville, who have they played? Miami. That's it. They played Miami, who sucks. Sorry if you're a Hurricanes fan. Sorry to my old boss many, many years ago. Good old Jeff. I know you're a Hurricane fan, and I'm sure you're watching, but they suck. Louisville, untested. Chris Mack's team, untested. They're going to get tested today. All right, they're going to get tested today. The book has Louisville winning. I don't have $1 on this game. I think it's going to be a closer game than what the bookmakers are thinking, and I think that's why the Sharps have the line coming down. Opened up, like we said, it opened up at 7. It's down to 5.5. I think it's going to go even lower. All right. The only factor is And here's my only factor. Michigan's big wins came on a neutral site court, all right, against Gonzaga and North Carolina, as well as Iowa State. This is their first true road game. This is Michigan's first true road test. They're going into a hostile environment at the KFC Yum Center. Chris Mack will have his players ready. They haven't played since Friday. Both teams haven't played since Friday. Louisville has had plenty of home games so far this year, and that crowd will definitely be into it. They get the 4th-ranked Michigan Wolverines. Juwan Howard needs to make sure his players play a full 40 minutes. You know, and it's one thing about Michigan, and we've seen it, and we've lost some money on them, is they get relaxed. They get relaxed, and they'll go on stretches where the droughts, just pure scoring droughts, and they can't do that today. They can't have that happen today, and if it happens, Louisville will convert on those. Louisville, very, very, very well versed at taking advantage of scoring droughts, and then situations where the opponent's struggling. Louisville will pick up on it and key off of it and put a hurt on them. You put Louisville on the foul line, they're going to knock down those free throws. So key to Michigan, because I do like the live dog here. What is that? The 4th straight dog that we're taking today. If it's a dog day, let it be today for at least for the lean side, right? So I do lean towards Michigan plus the 5. I liked them even better at 7. I was going to make it a personal play when it was at 7. But as soon as that line dropped, I backed off of it. I know originally the bookmakers actually had Louisville winning by 8, a 72-64 final, but I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way at all. I think Louisville is going to be in for a tough task. This is their biggest battle of the year. Michigan is battle tested with, just last Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they beat Iowa State, North Carolina, and Gonzaga. All right? They beat some top quality teams right there. So I do lean towards Michigan plus the 5.5 as far as the total. I'm off of it. As far as not beating Kansas, or not jumping Kansas, if they beat Louisville, they definitely can plead a case for why they should be number 1. But obviously, Kansas 6-1 on the year, so they'll definitely have a case for their loss against Duke. I mean, Kansas's biggest opponent since losing to Duke was beating Dayton. So Dayton, what are they, 19th? Dayton 19th. So I could see him jumping. By all means, jumping Kansas. They'll have much bigger wins. So be a good game today. Do they win outright? I don't know. I do think they'll be a live dog, though. So for that, I'm going to take the 5.5 and hope they, or I would take the 5.5 and hope they play a full 40 minutes. So there's that one. Remember, guys, if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Please come join us in the live chat. Hit that subscribe button down below. That way you'll be notified every single time we go live. We go live Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. And then Saturday and Sundays at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Tomorrow we're going to be obviously doing our daily game day breakdowns of games that are taking place on that day. We're going to try and squeeze in some NBA tomorrow as well as NHL. But we're also going to take a look tomorrow at all the not at NFL tomorrow, but tomorrow we're going to take a look at all the college football conference championship games for starting on the Pac-12 game on Friday. That'll be the first one that we do, and then we'll take a look at all the other ones. Fast Freddy, if you want the Butler and Ole Miss game, hit the rewind button. We already broke it down. So we already did breakdowns on the Duke game, Florida State game, Butler game, and Michigan and Louisville game. Next one up that we're going to do, folks, and we're going to roll right into it because I don't have much time to spend on live today, unfortunately. But we're going to take a look at Iowa and Syracuse for you guys today. So we've already been live for a little over an hour and 40 minutes. Going to go live for a little bit more. Not much. This is actually going to be a quick game day breakdown. Hold on one second, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, I had to text my wife. She's coming here. We got to go. We have to go drop off a check to the builder's office that's building our other home. So, got to go pay for those good old options. Rich, Michigan plus the 5.5. I liked them better when they were plus 7, but I like them at. I lean towards them at plus 5.5. Liked it better when it was at 7. So going to get to another breakdown here, guys. If you're not on board, feel free to jump on board with us. Hit that subscribe button. Do us a favor. Give us a big thumbs up in the video. Feel free to pick up 2 weeks of premium plays. Guys, you guys know the good deals are usually 3 days for $99. Sometimes we'll double it. Give you guys 6 days for $99. But the best deal by far, pick up 2. What you can do, you can go get 3 days of our premium plays that had a nice big winning day yesterday, or 3 days of my personal plays for $99. But even better than that, you can pick up 2 weeks of premium plays or 2 weeks of my personal plays for only $250, which will get you 14 full straight days. And as always, it doesn't matter if you buy a 3-day package, a 7-day package, a 2-week package, or a year package. We make sure you make money on your investment. We take care of you until you do. So rest assured, feel safe to get on board, and let's all make some money together. And if you're here for the free plays, stick around. We'll have a free play here in a little bit for you guys. We already have a free play in the NBA already out there on our daily free play video. If you want that one, when we're done here, watch that video. When you're done watching that, do us a favor on that one as well. Make sure you guys give us a big thumbs up over there as well. So I do apologize for posting that one late. I always try and get it out, in the early evening or the late evening the night before. But unfortunately, being under the weather, went home, laid down, took my meds, and that was all she wrote last night. So I definitely got a good night of sleep. That is a 100% fact last night. So it was a great, good time catching up on some much-needed rest. So, but here we are. Live show will be live again tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. And it's going to be a long and good show tomorrow. So conference championship breakdowns headed tomorrow. So let's get these this one in, and then we'll probably go straight to our late night chaser breakdown for you guys. All right, next up on the list, Iowa and Syracuse. Guys, again, this will be another televised game. This will be on ESPN2 for you guys if you're looking to watch it. Televised, one of the early games, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Popping up the lines on this game from opening to where it's at currently. Let's see here. See if I don't miss it the first time. Of course, I did miss it the first time. Let's see if I don't miss it the second pass. I'll go a little slower this time. There we go. 763. 764 is the game number, guys. Syracuse opened up as a 4-point favorite. They're up to 4.5 right now. Total opened up at 145.5. It's down to 145. It's down a half a point from where it opened. Believe it or not, it's off the board at the MGM for the total. As far as this game goes, and both of these two teams, let's take a look at them side by side, and let's see what both teams have been doing. Syracuse, not off to a hot start. They opened up the year with a big loss to Virginia at home. They were demoralized. They were held to just 34 points by Virginia. Well, Virginia only put up 48, so it was a big defensive game. So a lot of people wanted to rag on Syracuse. Oh, they only put up 34. Well, Virginia only put up 48. They came back. They bounced back strong against Colgate like we knew they would. Seattle, they beat by 23. Cornell, they beat by 19. Bucknell, they beat by 51. And then they ran into a tournament situation, neutral site game, and ran into old Oklahoma State and Penn State. Oklahoma State beat them by 14, 86-72, as well as Penn State beating them 85-64. But when you take a look at both of those teams, Oklahoma State 7-0 on the year, with wins over both Syracuse and Mississippi this year. So no slouch there in Oklahoma State. And then they ran into Mississippi State, who they lost to. Mississippi State's got wins over Georgetown already. They did lose to Mississippi as well. But they beat Syracuse as well. Syracuse, they're riding a 2-game losing streak. They're back at home before heading on the road against Georgia Tech and then Georgetown. So later this week, well, they get a week off before they face Georgetown, luckily, on the road. Luckily for them. So Jim Boeheim's got to, get his team back in check. They've been off since Friday, so they've had a couple days rest. It is at home, and the Atlantic Coast Conference team, they've got to get, he's got to get control of his players and get them all on the same page. And he's still trying to figure out, the best lineup. Mixing in Joseph Girard, the freshman point guard, the 6'1" freshman, and getting him to play with, his kid, Buddy Boeheim, who's getting 79% of the minutes, at the shooting guard position. So, coach's kid getting 79% of the minutes, but he's also putting up some points. In their loss against Virginia to open the year, he was limited to 7 points, which is actually his lowest scoring game. When he has a rough game and the teams keep him in check, they lose. This kid played 39 minutes in their loss against Penn State. He played 39 of 40 minutes against Penn State. He put up 14 points. 29 minutes against Oklahoma State. He put up 8 points. He went 1 of 4 from 2-point land and 1 of 7 from out deep. He shot 3 of 4 from the free throw line. All right? But when his shot is on and he's getting good looks, he's putting up points, their team's winning, but it just so happens it's against weak defenses. So here they are. They get Iowa, 5-2 Iowa. They are coming off a loss against San Diego State. They lost by 10 on a neutral site game. San Diego State's took advantage of them there, but Iowa's got a big win over Texas Tech. If you guys remember, Texas Tech killing some teams early on and struggled against Iowa and Creighton as well. So Iowa, as far as being tested goes, they got wins over Oral Roberts, North Florida, Cal Poly, SIU Edwardsville. So I wouldn't necessarily say that, they're going to be the strongest match against Syracuse. I think the line is where it's at for a reason, and we're going to see that when we break down these two teams side by side. But, like we said, Syracuse opened up as a 4-point favorite. They're laying 4.5 here, and let's compare them side by side. Iowa's offense, is actually pretty proficient. All right, they do have a very proficient offense, but where they lack is on defense. All right, where they lack is on defense. I like to say that you need to be able to knock down shots, which Syracuse is capable of doing. They need to execute better from the free throw line. That's a fact, especially the coach's kid. However, defense is what's going to win games. Defense is going to win games in the long run, especially when it comes down to conference play. These two teams side by side shooting from the field, very, very, very similar numbers. 51.5% for Iowa, 51.2% for Syracuse. They're both well above the Division I average. From out deep, similar numbers, 35.5% for Iowa, 33.1% for Syracuse. Now all those 2-point plays, again, similar numbers. Where these teams are different, free throw shooting. All right. Iowa knocking down 50.6% of all their jump shots, layups, and dunks, compared to the 52.4% for Syracuse when they're down low, banging on the glass. Now, free throw shooting. Free throw shooting. Iowa hitting 73%. Syracuse hitting 66.9% from the charity stripe. Unacceptable number for Jim Boeheim's team. And a lot of that happens to be the coach's kid missing some very, very, very key free throws in a lot of games. So, and it's not just Buddy Boeheim's fault that they're hitting just under 67%. It's a whole team. The entire team has struggled knocking down free throws as well. So you could take a look at Elijah Hughes. This is the kid that usually is padding their numbers. He went 11 of 13 against Penn State, 7 of 8 from Oklahoma State, 100% against Bucknell. He missed 2 out of 7 against Cornell. You want to put a kid on the line, make sure it's not Elijah Hughes today. That's a fact. Elijah Hughes will definitely hurt Iowa if they put him on the line like Penn State did, even though Penn State came away with a victory. Taking a look at the two teams even more side by side, diving in, to the bench minutes, who's going to go to the bench. Iowa's going to go to the bench a lot more. They average going to the bench for 34.7% of available minutes played by people coming off the bench compared to 19.9 for Jim Boeheim and his Syracuse Orange. 2 foul participation protocol. Iowa won't play in it. Iowa will not play in it. 3.8% of available minutes compared to 44.6% for Syracuse. Jim Boeheim is very trusting in his players so far early in the year, and he does have a fairly veteran squad, starting 3 juniors, a sophomore, and the only freshman is Joseph Girard. And even that, the other underclassman, the sophomore, is his boy. So, his son. So, he's got some big faith in them. Some of them have had foul trouble early, and you take a look at, this kid, their big center, right? Here you go, number 34. All right, I can't even pronounce his name, Sidby. All right, Sidib. This kid's in foul trouble. He fouled out against Penn State. He picked up 4 against Oklahoma State. He's had at least 2 fouls in every game. Actually, at least 3 fouls in every game so far this year, with the exception of 1. And he's a kid that Jim Boeheim would much rather be able to see, mid 30 minutes from, low 30s to, mid 30s. In only 1 game this year, and it was against Cornell, that he picked up 30 minutes. He would have picked up more, but he had 4 personal fouls in that game. And their loss against Penn State, this is their big man. He hasn't been effective shooting the ball. He went 1 of 3 from 2-point land. He put up 2 points on the board out of 17 minutes played against Penn State, but he had 5 personal fouls. Only played 17 minutes. Against Oklahoma State, he picked up 4 personal fouls, and he rode the bench for most of the game. 21 minutes, he took 7 shots. He made 3. He put up 6 points in 21 minutes. This is a guy that Jim Boeheim would love to see in the mid-30s, but the kid keeps staying in foul trouble. So, what is that going to do? Obviously, it's going to move other players into key roles for Syracuse, and that's why, Quincy Guerrier and Jesse Edwards have split, the remaining 50% of the playing time, is because Sidib is, riding the pony. As far as, this game goes, side-by-side comparison, I think, Iowa State is the untested team. Syracuse has been tested. They played Oklahoma State, they played Penn State and Virginia. Even though that is their only 3 losses, they have played a much more, capable and, capable competition. Even though, they lost by 21 to Penn State, they lost to 14 by Oklahoma State, they lost by 14 to Virginia. I think they're going to be the more competitive team here. They're at home. Playing in Syracuse is no slouch. No easy task at the Carrier Dome. Guys, it's big. It's number 1 as far as capacity goes for Division I. All right? As far as Division I arenas or playing centers, whatever you want to call them these days, they're the largest, 35,642 screaming fans in orange. All right? Home court advantage, 3.7 ranking, makes them the 64th toughest in Division I. Add that with the loud, the noise level of the, the 35 plus thousand fans that will be screaming on the orange tonight. I'm definitely going to give, a 3-point advantage there. So to say Syracuse opened up as a 2-point or a 1 point or 1.5 point favorite at home against Iowa is safe to say. So you give them the home court ranking. If this was on a neutral site game, they'd probably be laying 1.5. Might be a pick 'em. But as far as that goes, I definitely lean towards Syracuse laying the 4.5 here. So we finally got a favorite on the board. As far as the total on this game goes, being high at 145 and seeing what, Syracuse has done over the last couple games with some high-scoring games against some high-quality opponents. Iowa against San Diego State, they put up 156. And they've had a couple other high-scoring games. I think this one can go either direction. But I'm off the total on this one. No opinion on the total on this one. Sorry about that one, fellas. And ladies that are watching. So again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you get notified every single time we drop a video. We're going to make this a great time today. And get you guys another big breakdown. And we're going to go straight to our wrong mouse here. Our late night chaser breakdown. That's going to be next. Our late night chaser breakdown. Arizona State, San Francisco. All right, Arizona State, San Francisco is going to be our late night chaser breakdown. That game goes down at 11 p.m. Eastern time. That one goes down at 11 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm just popping up the odds on everything real quick. And this is game 801, 802 if you guys are looking. All right, 801, 802 if you guys are looking. Arizona State, guys, on this one open up as a 1.5 point favorite, minus $1.10. Total on this one opened up high at 155. It's down to 153.5, so it's down a full 1.5 early. Where'd my live chat go? Frankie Diamond says it's a dog day. Yeah, Arizona's definitely a talent team, but you can never count out San Francisco, guys. A West Coast Conference team that plays tough. I mean, they're 7-1 on the year. All right, 7-1 on the year. Their only loss was a road loss to Hawaii, where they lost by 10. Obviously, Sonoma State, gimme there. They beat Princeton by 10. They beat Yale in overtime by 5. They took care of Southern Illinois by 16. They beat Cal State Bakersfield by 30. They beat Sam Houston State by 9 and Hampton by 16. So here they are getting a home game against Arizona State, Pac-12 team, who's 4-2 on the year with losses to Colorado and Virginia. They picked up wins over Central Connecticut State, Rider, St. John's, who they beat by 13, and then most recently Princeton, who they beat by 2. They struggled on the road against Princeton, beating them by 2, which was a team that San Francisco beat up by 10 at home. Shapendi Lulo, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. You just made it for the late night chaser breakdown for you guys later today. But yeah, San Francisco guys, the Dons, their war memorial at the Sabarda Center, very small, 4,200 screaming fans. Big difference from old Syracuse Orange Stadium, right? Believe it or not, it's got a ranking of 2.6, null and void. There'd be no home court advantage for San Francisco. Probably won't even be a sellout there in the city. As far as Arizona State, the Sun Devils go, coming from Tempe. Bob Hurley's going to have his team rolling. They are coming off a narrow victory over Princeton. They go on the road against San Francisco before they come back for a three-game homestead. So they just had a road game against Princeton a week ago. So they've had a complete night or complete week off before they get on the road. Taking a look at these two teams side by side, you're going to see that San Francisco's offense is up there. They can definitely shoot the ball, and they're excelling where Arizona State has not been excelling. But as far as talent goes, I'd have to say, Arizona State has played a much more quality schedule. especially with their 3-point loss on a neutral site game against Virginia. They almost gave, not almost, they did. They gave Virginia a run for their money again and trying to play upset alert. But here they are, guys, shooting from the field. Arizona State knocking down just 48.8%, just a tad bit under the Division I average of 49.1. San Francisco coming in shooting at 55.8%. From out deep, that three ball, all right? Arizona State hitting 32.3% from out deep. However, the good news for them is they're going to be going up against the San Francisco defense. That is not very well, and they defend the three horribly. All right, teams facing San Francisco have been shooting 41.6% from out deep. All right. Now, San Francisco, they're a very, very, very good three-ball shooting team. They rely on the three ball for 37.8% of all their points. They're also knocking down 38.3% of all their three-point plays. Unfortunately for them tonight, they're going to be coming in against the 10th best team defending the three, and believe it or not, that's Arizona State. Arizona State's holding teams at 25% shooting from out deep. This is a very good in-your-face team that is very capable to make sure San Francisco doesn't get open looks. All right, Arizona, for all their 2-point plays, every jump shot, layup, and dunk, they're hitting 48.9% of all their 2-point plays. For San Francisco, they're hitting 54.5%. All right, but Arizona State holding opponents to under the Division I average at 46.3 with their in-their-face style of a defense that's not giving teams open looks. Now, free throw shooting, small little edge to San Francisco, not much. They're only hitting 72.5% compared to the 69.4% of Arizona State. Both getting their shots blocked roughly the same, actually identical, 9.8 to 9.8% of the time, as well as the steals, roughly in that same category. Now, no doubt about it, San Francisco relies on that three ball. If Arizona can take away the three, San Francisco's going to have to play a whole complete ball game, and they will struggle. If Arizona can do what they've done against other teams like Virginia, like Princeton, like St. John's, who they held to 67 points and they put up 80 on, against Rider, who they held to 55 points and put 92 points up on them. If they're able to do that, and they're able to limit the open threes and contest and make sure all the San Francisco threes are contested and keep San Francisco from knocking down nearly 40% of all their points from out deep, if they can change that number, they can change the outcome of the game single-handedly just by defending the three ball today. All right. Let's see. Free throws, roughly the same, guys. Going to the bench, roughly the same, 32% of the time for Arizona State compared to 30.8% for San Francisco. Here's the big difference, the two-foul participation protocol. 55% of the time, 55.7% of the time, they find themselves in the two-foul participation protocol. And guys, that's compared to 25.8% for Arizona State. And that is an absolute huge number. Huge number. Jerry, what's going on? That's a huge number right there in difference. And what that means is when some of those players for San Francisco that have been in foul trouble early, they're going to be allowed to play with two fouls for over half the remaining minutes of that first half and into that early part of the second half. So Jimbo Lawler, their 7-foot senior center, he picks up that second foul. He's going to be riding, he's going to be allowed to play. He's going to get some playing time. But people like Josh Kunin, which is, Todd Golden, the head coach of the San Francisco Dons, he would much rather this kid play for 70% of the minutes at the power forward position, but he's picked up some early fouls. The coach allows him to play, and he picks up that third foul early. As Mark said, the talent difference on these two teams, again, I agree with you, Mark. I'm assuming your side on the Arizona side as far as talent goes. That's where I lean towards is the talent, a double negative, is not even close in my opinion either. And it's one of the reasons why I'm on the side that I'm on this game. That two-foul participation protocol is a huge advantage for Arizona State right there. As far as size difference, San Francisco's got about an inch advantage overall. But there's no lack in, the talent that is on the Arizona State team compared to San Francisco. Not to put those kids down, but Remy Martin, the 6-foot junior at point guard, That kid could ball. Jalen House, guard for the 6'2" freshman for Arizona State, getting half the time there at that position, and that'll slowly get more as he gets more accustomed to Bob Hurley's playing style. Rob Edwards, a 6'5" senior. Lawrence, the 6'8" junior. Same thing with Romel White, kid over at center, getting over 60% of the minutes played. Lawrence is a key factor for, in the power forward position. Arizona State's going to need to keep him out of foul trouble. His first, 4 games, he was in major foul trouble. He only played for half the game in the first 2 games. He fouled out against Colorado, played 22 minutes, and put up 10 points. Against Central Connecticut, he played 20 minutes, picked up 6 points. He had 4 personal fouls. He rode the bench quite a bit, even against Rider, and their big win against Rider. He only played 14 minutes, put up 2 points, 4 personal fouls. This is a kid that needs to stay out of foul trouble. Their win against St. John's, he played 11 minutes. Why? Because he was in foul trouble. All right, he picked up 3 fouls early, and he picked up some early fouls. So as far as this one goes, I do have a free play on it for you guys. Right now they're laying $1.10 on the -1.5, minus $1.10. You could lay 10 cents more and actually win by 1 and actually get them on the money line at minus $1.20, which is actually, we're going to go right into it, your free play of the day. All right, your free play of the day, guys. We're going to go rolling right into it. It is a personal play of mine. Arizona State on the money line, minus $1.20. So there you have it. There's your free personal play. Don't forget, Cyber Monday deal still ongoing. Premium plays are already posted. Pick up 3 days of premium plays, $99. 3 days of my personal plays, $99. 2 weeks, even better deal at $250. Smoking deal, guys. I'm telling you guys, get on board. Let's make a boatload of money together. It's going to be a great day, great week, and let's make some money. Let's get a big 2-0. Remember, we do have a free NBA play out there for you guys, and if you want it, you just got to go get it. All right, it's already. Just go watch that other video, and when you're there, on your way out the door here, give us a thumbs up. When you watch that other one, do us a favor, give us that thumbs up as well. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. That way you get notified, because we will be live tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. We're going to touch all the college football conference championship games as well as what's going on tomorrow. So, we'll see you guys tomorrow.